Facebook Live. Questions? Brady?
Brady Popper, LA Times. Derek, can you talk a little bit about the performance that Maja had off the bench, the spark that she was able to give you guys, and then also what it was that was limiting her minutes tonight? Was that just the defensive assignments that you didn't like out there, or just a lack of minutes to go around?
Maria was great for us. Marina was good. Alexis and Shanae, especially in that first quarter, they kind of just stabilized the leakage a little bit and didn't allow Chicago to continue to get separation, but start to work the game and turn the momentum in that first quarter when we got off to such a slow start. All four of those players deserve a lot of credit, and then Maria in particular, it definitely a shortage of minutes when you have Candace and Nick up front to start, but that's also why we tried to get a few minutes in with Candace on the floor next to two bigs, so that we can start to feel more comfortable with that type of lineup, which I think will allow us to get Maria on the floor more without having to necessarily sacrifice, Nneka and what she does for us. And then, as Candace continues to, find her footing, her versatility makes us a different team, and the matchups get a little bit harder for the opponent. So, like I said before, my job will get harder with, as everybody comes back. And, I feel for Kalani, who's been really good for us at times this season, and just not as much opportunity at the moment. But, we'll try to encourage her to stay positive and to stay ready, because, an opportunity will present itself again at some point. And if she's been doing the right thing, she'll be ready to go.
Pavy H&B Media. Coach, when I watch, Chicago seems like one of the more athletic teams in the league, especially with Diamond. How did you guys deal with that, and did it give you any troubles early on?
No, I thought early on, I thought they had more purpose to their game. We kind of started the game, and we were playing as though it's just kind of another game on the schedule, and we have to be here at 2:00 today, and let's go out and play. And I thought that Chicago started the game more connected to like the value of this game, the season series, where we are in the calendar of the season, and they were just hungrier. They were scrapping harder, fighting harder, and it took our players a little bit of time to generate that level of energy and intensity in this game, which can happen. You get comfortable at home, you really do, and I thought we have reached our limit of being at home, and it's time to take the show on the road and get a little bit of that edge back and kind of that us against the world mentality. When you're at home, you're winning, everybody's telling you how good you are, you don't think you have to practice that hard, you just kind of start going through the motions, so to speak. But, Chicago's a good team, so we anticipated a really tough game today.
Miriam Swanson, Southern California News Group. Chelsea was Chelsea, but what did that look like to you today?
Well, we knew that offensively she was due for a breakout game. She's been doing such a great job of just trying to kind of balance like her opportunities to score, but facilitating. She's had some double-digit assist nights, some nights with 6, 7, 8 assists, and really just trying to continue to develop and evolve as a leader, and making sure that she's not trying to always just do her thing. But today, I just thought she was more aggressive and assertive to make sure that she had opportunities to play and to score. And she forced a few, and some of the turnovers she had were just because she didn't just shoot it. She was still thinking about making somebody else better. So it was more of an example of her struggling still with, like, she's not wired to shoot the ball 30 times. Mm-hmm. And so, you look up, she had 20 field goal attempts. She probably had 3 or 4 turnovers where she should have shot it, and then she tried to pass it at the last second. so there are nights where she has to be our best offensive player, and you know, in that fourth quarter in particular, you know, she showed some mental toughness and made some big baskets that we needed.
I'm Viva Chris, and I'm traveling to all 12 WNBA arenas to conduct research for an academic project.
Okay.
And I'm going to see you guys on Wednesday against the Wings. What are you going to change from today until Wednesday?
Oh. Welcome. It's not an easy question to answer. 20 minutes after today's game. Well, I mean, I think that, you know, we've played against Dallas twice now, and, you know, they're a physical, tough, scrappy basketball team. The type of players they're, you know, they're wired to be that way. And I think the first time we played against Dallas, I don't think we were ready for that. The second time, I think we were more ready. You know, we were kind of hobbling in with, you know, not a lot of players and still trying to figure some things out. We barely got that win. But, you know, this third time around, they're still competing really hard. You know, we know about what happened, you know, in Phoenix. And so we'll see who's in, who's out or whatever. But, like, what we have to change, similar to today, is that Dallas can't want the game more than us. The strategy stuff will take care of itself a lot of times. But if your opponent or the person you're matched up against, if she wants it more than you do, she gets the calls. She gets the benefit of being the aggressor, and we have to make sure we change that when we get to Dallas.
Coach, David Yakowitz from High Post Hoops. You know, coming out of college, we knew Marino was a great offensive player, you know, a great shooter. But in recent games, you know, last weekend she was matched up defensively against Joelle Lloyd. You know, today she had time against Diamond DeShields and Allie Quigley. You know, what have you seen from her in the last couple games on the opposite end of the floor?
Yeah, no, I think her natural DNA is coming out on the defensive end. Like, one of the things that we, you know, really valued in drafting her initially was her competitiveness. Like, she has a New Jersey, you know, kind of edge, like, to everything that she does. And so, but, you know, she didn't always think of defense as a priority, really. You know, she's relied on her good shooting and her playmaking, and defense was kind of an afterthought. Played a lot of zone in college, don't really have to work at those individual skills. And I think that she, to her credit, she's figured out that, you know, to get more minutes, to get more opportunities, I'm going to have to be able to defend against some of the better, you know, guards and perimeter players in the WNBA. And she's taking the challenge. And so, you know, we're not surprised to see her competing really hard. And it's good to, like, young players have to learn how to disconnect from being 1 for 5 offensively and then still having a level of, like, engagement and focus and intensity to just being on the court that you can impact winning without making a basket. That's hard for young players that have, you know, been so offensive geared in their game. So, you know, she just deserves a lot of credit for sticking with it, and, you know, she's earning every minute she can get, you know, and it gets crowded. Elena Beard is getting better. Raquana's only out for a few more games. So, you know, Marina's just doing a good job taking advantage of the opportunity.
Coach John W. Davis with W Insider. If we could go back to a conversation you and I had earlier this week at practice, was this a manifestation with 23 turnovers of some of those no-look passes, or just some of those wrong passes at the wrong time, and how instead of it just being 2 points for you guys, it turns into a 4-point swing? Yeah,
no, I think we just weren't as sharp, you know, to start, and some of it, like you said, is kind of a manifestation of the week and the schedule, and the 2-game set, like Thursday, Sunday, ends up being an interesting, you know, combination of days, because you go from Thursday, Sunday, and then Thursday, Sunday. So no practice on Monday, then you practice hard Tuesday, Wednesday, you play Thursday night. Well, you can't practice on Friday. That'd be 4 days in a row. The night after a game, so then on Saturday, you can only do so much because the game is at 2 o'clock on Sunday. So it ends up kind of being a week where 3 of the days you really didn't do that much. And by the end of the week, you've a little slippage, game conditioning isn't there, you haven't really been training really hard, and it just catches up to you. And so that's what I was saying earlier about kind of reaching the limit of being at home, because on those days when you're at home and there's not much going with practice, like in LA, it's a lot of stuff to do, right? You know, you can just start going outside and going here and going there and doing all of these things. And I thought that is really what led to somewhat of a sloppy game for us. You know, but Chicago also has some turnovers. You know, again, where it's just a 2 o'clock start. They played Friday night. They couldn't do much yesterday. It was just a travel day. So then they show up here at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and you know they weren't very sharp either. But you know, that's a part of just a season, and you go through it, and you just still got to figure out ways to win. And you know, we were fortunate to do that today.
Coach, LTO is TV Sports